to use
Really sure.
Right, so if we did have a school choice program that was more vibrant, that allowed for faith-based schools as well, then that might provide more opportunities for students who might be not performing that well in traditional schools.
Exactly, and really there are probably two or three more vibrant advantages to including private schools and faith-based schools in particular in the equation. Number one, of course, you have the fact that students who attend these schools are likely to do better than they would in traditional public schools. You have the sense that surveys indicate that students believe that their teachers care about them more. There are also smaller class sizes. There's a greater room for school discipline and so forth. The schools encourage parental involvement. These are some of the reasons for the advantage. So you have that component, that students are likely to do better at these schools. Number two, you also have the added component of competition, that you have greater competition because of the very presence of these faith-based schools. And probably what would happen is either a tax break would be given or a voucher would be given to especially families of low socioeconomic status who could not normally afford to send their children to these schools. So it would level the playing field, and it would cause public schools to be much more serious in the degree of competition that they have. And what the idea is then is that a school choice program would hopefully raise all ships. It would not only mean that more students would go to faith-based schools, which would probably be good for them academically, but right now the public school system has pretty much a 91%, well, call it a monopoly, on the school system. And in fact, there was a book written years ago, back in 1990, by Chubb and Moe, Politics, Markets, and America's Schools, and it asked a very important rhetorical question. Now, they answered their own question, given that it was a rhetorical question, but the question that they asked was, why is it that here in the United States we have clearly what is regarded as the best university system in the world? And I'm not just saying that because I'm American. There are free organizations that rate the universities on a worldwide basis every year. They're based in China and Europe, and all of them have the American institutions dominating. That they tend to be 50% of the top 20 schools, in some cases even 80%, 50% of the top 50 schools, and so forth, that there are very few schools that can compete against Harvard and Princeton and Yale, Chicago and Stanford and so forth. And how can we have a university system that is so absolutely outstanding, and in the same country we have a public K through 12 system which is mediocre at best? And again, they answer their own question, and Chubb and Moe in essence say the answer is competition. That we have a lot of private universities and public universities that directly compete one another. We even have some pretty intense rivalries. We have USC and UCLA, and even across the states where you have Michigan and Notre Dame, Stanford and UC Berkeley, Duke and North Carolina, and the list goes on. And they're not merely athletic competitions and rivalries. They basically do carry over to the academic realm. And so what they encourage is that, given that in contrast the K-12 system of public education is just so dominant, that we need to allow more competition, and that this will cause the American system of K-12 education to improve.